You guys still here? All right. Thanks for coming back and not leaving, actually. Mike, what do you want to talk about?
Well, my topic is I want to talk about variant covers. And not only variant covers, but the retailer incentive covers. And our good friend here, Andy, knows a lot about that. So he'll go in and explain about that. But what is your... well, let's talk about the variant covers first. It's the same book, different covers.
The interiors...
A and Bs.
Yeah, the interiors are the same, and there's different covers. And usually it's different artists or different takes. Sometimes it's...
or a movie promotion.
Or a movie
like
promotion or
DC
something like
Harley
that.
Quinn.
It's a variant cover. The interiors of the books are the same. Usually variant covers are pretty much... well, not always, but... they're usually 50-50. So and you can, and now recently, you, as when you order through your previews, you can pick which one you like, and that's a variant cover. And some completists have to have all of them. So that's more books that your retailer can sell. A retailer incentive cover is... these are usually the books that you see that have a different cover that isn't as many covers as like a regular variant. What a retailer incentive is, usually it means they want the retailer to order more copies. So if you order 50 copies of Amazing Spider-Man, you'll get this retailer incentive. If you order 75 copies, you get this one. If you order 100 copies, you get this one. That's why sometimes you'll see certain covers will be much higher priced, while the retailer had to order more books to be able to get that. It's a retailer incentive. It's to get him to get more books, to purchase more books. And we also always have to remember, at a regular comic book store done through direct market, these books are non-returnable. So if someone, as a retailer, orders 100 copies and they only sell 20 of them, they're stuck with 80. So it's not like a newsstand edition years ago where you'd be able to tear the cover off and send it back for credit. That no longer exists. It's direct market. You bought it, it's yours. So that's why you'll see a lot of certain covers more expensive, because the retailer had to buy more just to get that one.
So it's by doing that, the retailer, well, let's just say there's 10 of them in this area. They all buy 80 extra copies that they can't sell. Now there's 800 issues that no one else is buying. So there's more mint copies out there. There are arbitrarily going to go down because you have more issues on the market. And even if you're collecting for the love of the comic, which I do, it's also a bonus when that comic that you happen to buy because you love it goes up in value. So if you wanted to sell it to buy your new car, you could sell it. But now, thanks to the retailer incentives that DC, Marvel, and everybody does, they put that comic in jeopardy of ever really truly getting good value. Just like in the 90s when they would sell 1 million issues of X-Men #1. And everybody was buying it, the price was going up because everybody was buying it. Then they realized not 1 million people were buying the comics. It was one person buying 100 copies.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
it's speculation.
And that ruined it, and it's still not coming back. And then what they remember, after the boom of the 90s went away, or the bubble burst, they stopped doing that. And now they're going back to it again. So doesn't this hurt the comic book collector as a whole? Because if I don't want to buy the $100 issue and only buy the $3 issue, I know that'll never see the light of day of 15, 20, 30 bucks, because there's a whole bunch of issues that were bought that are sitting in a box in somebody's store.
Well, possibly. It really just means that more copies of the regular one are out there.
Right.
Does that hurt the value of a book? I don't know.
Sure.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
If
It
a warehouse burns
depends on
down?
what people are really interested in.
For example, I mean, you can have like...
That's
just-
what a hot book
yeah.
is. I mean,
A hot book.
look at Deadpool. New Mutants, or number 98. It's 15, 20 years ago, you couldn't get the kind of prices you get for it now. It's not that there's less books out there now. It's just now it's a hot book. Who knows, about 5 years from now, maybe people won't care about it.
Well, I can kind of say, well, let's talk Wolverine. Ever since I've been collecting, Wolverine has always, his first appearance, Hulk 181, has consistently and constantly have gone up. It's never gone down. So
Some will.
Right, and if Deadpool follows that same measure, and they're treating Deadpool currently like they treated Wolverine in the 90s, he still should have that mainstay and that power. Plus,
Well, he's been able to do that. Wolverine has been able to do that. Hulk 181. But it's one of those deals that who knows 10 years from now, maybe nobody will care about Wolverine, period. And yes,
that'll never happen.
maybe not as many people, which means the value will go down.
That's what they're speculating about The Walking Dead #1.
That's
when that show
why-
ends in the next 1 or 2
Yeah,
seasons.
I mean,
which they
X-Files.
said,
When
is it gonna
X-Files
come out?
came out, that
I
was a
remember
hot
that.
hook.
That was like
I mean, people,
$50,
now you can get it for like
$75,
$10, $12.
Exactly.
but we're
you
still
know,
getting
and-
away from the incentives. I mean, again, Marvel DC is producing more comics than they should because they don't care.
Well, it's not
they
that
want to make
they,
their
it's not
bottom
that
line.
they shouldn't.
They should
They're,
care.
they're trying to make as many comic
Yeah.
books as they can sell.
But
And
they,
they're
remember
making money.
when the bubble burst
Period.
in the 90s and Marvel Marvel did declare
They're just trying
bankruptcy.
to, yeah.
They're repeating the same thing with all these alternative covers.
Yeah, to
And
some
that
degree,
hurts.
yeah.
I mean, look at The Walking Dead, issue 100. They had 100 different artists doing 100 different covers. How valuable is 100 going to be? Not too valuable if there's 100 different
Depends
issues.
on the person.
And like Andy said, for the comic junkie that has to have the
Yeah, the
completist that has
completist
to
that
have
has
it,
to have every
that-
one of them.
That's great for them, but for me, I rather just have the one cover because when you go to the show and they have, let's say they have a variant cover, cover B or C, or that retailer incentive that the guy said, I'm not going to get $50 for it. It's cover price in the box, and you're looking for it, and then you're like, do I have this issue or not? And then you end up buying it, and then you come home and it's like, I already
Yeah,
have
that
the
is-
issue,
yeah.
or you have that variant cover, but you don't remember it because you see so much of the other ones.
But Marvel should care about the retail environment.
Well, they
and
do care
us.
about the retail
Well, when
environment.
they're making 100
Um,
issues just so you can get a special issue, they're just caring about their
trying
bottom
to,
line.
Well, yeah, yeah.
And that's not good.
That's business.
Well, that is business, but when they ruin the business and there's nobody selling their product,
I don't really think they're ruining the business.
yeah, they did. They declared bankruptcy not once but almost twice, and that's why they sold all their rights to Fox for Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, and that's or Sony with Spider-Man. They sold all the rights on a heavy-ended deal that favored the movie producers.
They were making money.
Not much, and that's why they're hurting. That's why they want those franchises back.
Speaking of movies, you
Well,
said
that's because
Fox,
Disney owns them
You
now.
said Fox owned the Fantastic Four rights, right?
I
Oh.
believe so, right?
So if that's true, I would like to know, can Fox make a good Fantastic Four movie?
Not so far.
I know. That's like they got a track record. It's like, what if Fox made a good Fantastic Four movie? I wonder what that would look like.
Well, maybe we
That'd
should
be a
talk.
what if title.
Can anybody make a good Fantastic Four movie? Is the question.
They got some
So-
cool characters,
so-
but
so
can
let's
they
They,
do it?
I mean,
Let's
they've
pull
done
this
all
in.
right with the way the movie looks.
Well, let's
you
we're
know,
pulling away from the
but-
movie from the comic. So your feeling on covers? You like multiple covers, or do you like the incentives that the retail person has to buy 100 issues to get one special issue? Do you like that? Yes or no?
It doesn't bother me
Doesn't
at all.
bother you.
It doesn't bother me that the publisher makes money, and it doesn't bother me that the retailer makes money.
And puts extra issues out there, and
Doesn't bother me whatsoever. No.
Okay, doesn't bother-
You know what I mean? If the retailer is taking that chance to get that extra incentive cover to be able to sell it for a higher price, if he knows he can sell it, then yeah, that's more money.
Okay, so
yeah.
you like that? You?
I don't have one way or another. It doesn't bother me. Some of the variant covers. If you're gonna give people variant covers, I like the idea that you can pick and choose
Yeah.
in previews, and they show you what it is.
Well, I don't
like
mean the
to be able-
variants. I'm talking about
He's
the
talking
retail.
about retail
Yeah, I'm just saying
incentives.
the retailer incentives. I don't really care one way or another.
Rogan doesn't like that there's that many more copies out
That
there.
you have to
That
buy
it-
so many. Let's
yeah.
just say
I
our
like
favorite
the-
comic place that we go to, that he bought.
Well, he doesn't have.
No, I'm saying, but if let's just say he bought 1,000 Marvel comics, just $1,000 worth of Marvel comics, and they said because you are a great buyer from us, here's a comic of Amazing Spider-Man variant cover. That to me would be good because he just bought 1,000 Marvel comics that would take care of all his customers. He didn't have to increase his order load just to get it, which increases the comics that are going to sit in his store.
Which I
So you
like
just
'cause I
don't
can
like the
buy.
way the retailer incentive is done.
I don't-
For the retailer should be something else.
It should be something. You want to give it to him because he's been a loyal customer so many years, or in 1 month he purchased this many in comics. Fine, but to make him buy 100 of one issue, no, I don't like that. Please let us know how you feel. Leave us a comment in the box below.
Click to
Subscribe. Click to subscribe for our YouTube channel, please.
and please like us on Facebook.
Thumbs up if you like us. Hey.
Thank you. Now get out of here.
This time for real.
For real.
That's a reference to the Fonz for those of you who don't remember.
Yeah,
Happy
totally showing
days.
my age.